Hello, welcome to this quick pick a card. We have 3 piles to draw you in today. Pile number 1 is going to be the yellow daylily. Pile number 2 is the marigold. And pile number 3 is the globe amaranth. Just take a moment to see which pile you are connecting with, and I will see you in your reading. Hi, pile number 1. This is your reading if you chose the yellow daylily. So your message from the language of flowers. The dictionary describes the yellow daylily as coquetry, a word I've never heard before. A quick little Google search just indicates that it means of like a flirtatious behavior. So your oracle for today, and this is from the Journey of Love Oracle Guide book. We have sacred convergence. Gosh, if you happened to click on the last quick pick oracle message, this card came out, I want to say, for pile 1, so there might be something there for you as well if you chose this pile. So we will begin by reading from the guidebook. And I'm actually drawn today, so in the last one, I read the full message, but typically there's a poem or an affirmation or something after, and I'm just getting called to actually read the poem instead of the full message from the guidebook. So if you are looking for that full message, check out the first pick a card in this series. So this is number 28, Sacred Convergence. From the white foam on a surface of blue to the mystery beneath the waves, wherever your travels may lead, may the artist's touch inspire us to explore. The ocean realm May the artist's touch inspire us to explore the ocean realm and celebrate the beauty as land gives way to water and water to the unknown. I'm getting this sense of exploration with another person, almost like having I've never had one of these, but like a travel romance or like a summer fling. But I'm sensing this sacred convergence. So maybe if you're someone that is seeking some fun in their relationship, and I'm getting called to tell the story of how I actually connected with my husband, Josh. And I would say that it's a sacred convergence for sure. But I was in a relationship for 8 years. My very first relationship, I was 16. I was afraid to go out with anyone. To be honest with you, I had been asked out when I started high school by a few suitors, and I said no. I was really waiting, and then eventually I met my boyfriend. He was a rock star. He was on stage. I went to a show that I didn't want to go, and I'm so glad I did because I met him and he was a rock star, and instantly I knew I wanted to date So I did for 8 years. And first kiss, first everything. And when we parted ways, I had one other kind of, I would say it was about a year. So, you know, I had one other partnership, and then I was like, you know what? I was 24 at the time. I was like, you know what? Like, I want to have a one-night stand. I just want to do it. I'm like, I just want to have a one-night stand. So I went on Tinder. And I was like I was always like, I did use Tinder, but I was very picky. Like, I did not, is it swipe right? Do I have that right? I didn't swipe on many people, but I went on, I was like, I'm gonna have a one night stand. And so like I handpicked someone, and it turned out to be my husband. So I matched with him right away, and I sent him a message, and I was like, and that's how it started. And I invited him out. We went to the wine bar here in London, Ontario. We had a beautiful, funny first date. But I was determined. Like I was determined to have a one night stand with him, even though like it was a beautiful date. I was determined. I was like, this was my plan. So the end of the night, like the wine bar was closing up, and we had to leave. And then I basically was like, oh, I don't want the night to end. And I feel like I tried to get back to his house. And like it just wasn't happening. But we were still having a great time. So we went to another bar that still had like another hour. We were like holding hands, like we were just so comfortable with one another. It was just so beautiful. And then it was March, so it was cold. The bar closed. We went outside, and he was like, let me get you an Uber home. And I was like, I don't want to go home. And eventually he invited me to his house. There was some resistance, not something I'm going to share in this moment, but basically what I want to say is we ended up just going to his house, and we didn't have a one night stand, and we just ended up talking and cuddling and having a beautiful evening until like 6 a.m. But we did not sleep together. So it's just interesting. What I'm getting is, you may think that you want something specific out of the scenario that you're in, but maybe open up and play. Have a little bit of fun, kind of opening Pandora's box a little bit and exploring what comes to you. Allowing yourself not to take it so seriously, because you don't really know what is in store for you, and trying to control the situation may not lead to the outcome that you're hoping for. But that's probably a good thing. I had this thought today about how, you know, we have our dreams, but like, what about the dreams of our dreams? Kind of fun, right? Like, if our wildest dreams could dream for us, what would they dream for us? Because we're thinking, you know, our thinking is on this one level, but then, like, if anyone watches Rick and Morty, when Beth and Jerry go to that alien, like, couples counseling, and they put, like, the helmet on, and it's like they think, they create these monsters of what they think the other person is. But then when you put the hat on the creation of the monsters, it creates like this like super being. It's like, so Beth and Jerry, they thought that each other were like, you know, kind of like the worst pieces of them. But then those parts, when you put the helmet on them, they create the most beautiful, you know, versions, like the highest self version. So let your dreams have dreams, let your scenario unfold, giving it a little bit of divine space. And that is your message for today from the Daylily. Have a beautiful day. Hello, pile number 2. This is your message if you chose the marigold. So using the language of flowers, the marigold indicates grief. And your oracle card for today is let the feminine lead the way. Number 39. So we'll go to the book. So this is the Journey of Love Oracle deck by Alana Fairchild. And today we're reading the poems from the guidebook. So this is Let the Feminine Lead the Way. My coming out is the freedom to fully be who I am, and the surrender to the divine essence, expressing through and around me. My coming out is the marriage of twin souls with my life partner, in gratitude, in love, unfolding as more than we could ever be on our own. What this is making me think of is the loss of self that you experience when you have a sacred convergence with your partner. If you've been in a long-term relationship, you may have experienced the, initial phase of coming together and just like kind of amalgamating into one person. My husband likes to use the kind of analogy of like rocks in a dryer. They're just like hitting each other time after time, and they're smoothing out. And I guess that doesn't really connect with like coming together, but it's this period of time where two become one, or two souls have to fit the other one in their world while also keeping themselves going. And there's a loss that happens when you come together with another person. When you are single, you tend to have kind of this yin and yang energy. But if you're a woman, I would dare to be so bold and say that the masculine energy becomes heightened or strengthened because you are in a position where you are required to both receive and surrender, but then to also provide and protect. And so maybe that energy is a little bit out of balance. Maybe you've been spending a lot of time working working really hard, going out, being that, there's the term that people say, being the boss babe. And that's beautiful. It really is. It really, really is. And it's something to be very proud of yourself for. But this card is indicating that it may be time to rest and focus a little bit more on the yang energy, that of receiving, that of surrender, that of being poured into. Maybe your cup is a little bit empty. Maybe you've been pouring from an empty cup, and it's time to fill your own cup. If you are in a union, maybe take some time to evaluate, I'm going to say, the roles. It's not quite the language that I want to say, but your role in the family unit, and maybe assess whether or not there's some room for you to allow your feminine essence to come to the forefront a little bit more. Can you maybe unload some of your actionable, burdensome energy? Can you maybe bring someone in to support you? Can you ask for support? Can you simply put your foot down and say, I am going to take a bath right now? Can you simply take a moment to surrender to yourself? I think why the marigold came out, what I'm getting is that there's different versions of yourself. So there's this idea of laying flowers at the grave of all the past versions of you. All of the versions that have been there to protect and support. All of the parts of you that you've needed to survive. But there's a transformation happening within you. And transformation is the essence of the death card in tarot. And death comes for everyone. And it can be easy to fear that death, that transformation. But just like a phoenix rising from the ashes, you will rise. You will become the pure essence of yourself in this transformation. And you have to let things go. You have to let pieces of yourself go. You have to shed old skin. You have to shed what does not serve you anymore. And in that, you will transform. And allowing your femininity, the yang aspects of you. Excuse me, have I been saying yang this entire time? Yin. Gosh. Yin. Surrender. Surrender. Let the feminine lead the way. Have a beautiful day. Hi, pile 3. This is your reading if you chose the amaranth. And your message from the language of flowers. Amaranth stands for immortality. And your oracle card for today is number 4, Simplicity. So we're reading from the Journey of Love Oracle deck by Alana Fairchild. And your poem for today: there is peace for one whose heart is open. There is peace for one whose heart is open. Four is a foundational number. I just feel vastness. I feel this sky view. Where maybe you're not taking things so seriously. Maybe you're not so focused on the nitty-gritty. Maybe you're just focused on expansion and seeing this world for more than the sum of its parts. I sense that you've been exploring allowing love to flow in. And that might be from a partner, from spirit, or even from yourself. How does it feel to explore immortality? What does that look like to you? How does it feel thinking about the idea that your soul chose to be here, and that your soul has come from other lifetimes, maybe other galaxies? And how does it feel knowing that this journey doesn't end when you take your final breath in this life? Logically, you might be thinking, oh gosh, I don't know. I just don't know. And the word faith comes to mind. And not necessarily the religious-based faith, although totally wonderful if that's something that you connect with. I like to think about faith . I just like to think about faith. It's just such a beautiful topic. And simply believing that you are consciousness, pure, universal consciousness, a fractal, a piece, and that every other person, every other soul is a fractal of that same consciousness, and that we are all going through the same journey as consciousness inhabiting a human form, but experiencing vastly different realities. Be kind always. Be kind always. Be kind to yourself. And be kind to everyone in your world. They are a piece of you, and you are a piece of them. Take time to ground. That might be by saying hi to a tree. It might be by watering your plants. Maybe you can go stand in the grass. But find ways to root yourself in this world, because the simple fact is that if you are here right now, there's a chance that you are an immortal consciousness. That's pretty cool, right? Just take that in. Let it digest. And I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day.